Nothing happens in your business unless you have something sold. Your business starts and stops with you selling something. A lot of the time we get caught up trying to make something where, it's gonna be the best table ever and you're gonna build this awesome piece of furniture that's gonna sit in your shop and I'm gonna start a business making this type of table. It doesn't matter because you do not have a business until that table has been sold. And I wanna really lean in on this because when I was going door to door, going coffee shop to coffee shop, restaurant to restaurant, bar to bar, furniture store to furniture store to see if I could sell the thing I have already put time and energy into, to sell them and them coming back to me. And can you build this instead? Can you custom build my menu boards? Can you custom build the benches, the tables? All started because I went in there because I took action beforehand to actually make something of value to sell them. Welcome to the Maker's Legacy Podcast. My name is Michael DiFazio, where I help makers of all kinds grow and scale their businesses so that they can create a legacy for their families and their community. Guys, I'm continuing on my story once again, talking about how I started my very first actual shop. And this is going to be the story of it. So I'm going to tell you, get right into it. If you're listening to the last couple episodes, you now know that I started my shop in my mom's garage, in my mom's backyard, to be honest. It wasn't a shop. It was a garage. It was hardly being used, and I just started to make stuff in there. But I very quickly outgrew it. After enough time working outside on old chairs and old, honestly, garbage cans, cutting wood, and doing that first custom project that I spoke about in the last video, I moved to my Nona's house. My Nona and Nono, they lived on the west end of Windsor, and they had a garage there that was packed to the brim. I can't even tell you how packed it was because it was literally like open the door, floor to ceiling, 30 feet, 10 foot wide, filled. Hardly walk in there. And I was like, well, first of all, obviously my Nona wasn't around anymore, but my Nona was still around. And I had to ask my Nona permission to, go in there and clean Nono's garage. So every single day I would show up to my Nona's house and she would have this coffee, and I don't know the actual word for it. All I know it as is the Nona pot. The way they make the coffee on the stove. I can't even remember the name of it right now, but it's a specific way. I feel like every Italian grandma makes it like this. And it was something that I remember so vividly. She would make like a cappuccino. I don't even know exactly how she would make it. I love coffee now, but I will promise you that no coffee will ever be as good as my Nona's coffee was, made on the stove before I would go into the garage and start clearing out the biggest mess of my life. If I ever was a little bit of a hoarder, I think I know where I got it from. I got it from my Nono, and my dad has it. My cousins have it. My whole family likes to collect stuff. I try not to do that because it takes up very, very valuable space if you're not using the stuff that you're hoarding. So I eventually moved into that garage full time, and I say full time with tons of leniency, we'll say, because I was a young man. I was busy. I had a band, which was the most important thing to me at the time, right? I worked at the Serbian Center on the weekends. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'd be bartending. But during the week, I didn't really have much to do. So I actually started working as much as I possibly could. So before the full time really came into effect, and I'll explain how that works later because I did go full time. I went overtime. I went full, balls to the wall overtime for a long time. And that's how I built my entire company. But right now I'm talking about how I started. So on the weekends, I work at the Serbian Center. During the week, I would go and clean the garage and start making stuff as I was still going around and trying to get custom work because custom work was actually paying for me at the time. And I needed money to go on tour because that's the only thing I cared about at this point of my life. Everything that I was doing was for the band. I worked a crappy job only on the weekends for the band. I started making custom pieces and art so I could sell and make a little bit of extra money for the band. Everything I was doing was for the band, and it worked. I had a great time with the band. You got to cut that section out right there. So I eventually did move into my Nona's garage, and it was awesome. I moved into my Nona's garage. I actually moved into my Nona's house. So I lived there. I worked in the garage, and I had this whole thing because I was such a young man and I had no real boss. I was just chilling every day. I made a point I was going to wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning and I was going to be in the shop for 9. And to be honest, that was so hard for me back then because I was up late. We played shows, and I didn't really care. I didn't really have a reason before this to get up earlier. You know what I mean? Teenage kids sleep in, college kids sleep in. I was just out of college. I was just starting to kind of get into the whole be your own boss type thing where I had to be the guy that got me up. I had to be the guy that got me into the shop making things and working and trying to build a business like I was. Oh, I was young. I had my first shop. I had my first place to start working. And let me be very clear. When I started cleaning out my Nono's garage, I cleaned out a section for me to work. That section looked like half a workbench for a while. Then it looked like the full workbench for a while. Then it looked like the workbench plus a little bit of extra space. And then eventually, probably after 2 years, I had that garage completely cleared out. I had finished pieces in there. I had lumber in there. I had finishing materials in there, a workspace in there. I had everything I needed at the time to actually work and start playing business for real, right? And this was a very, very, very young version of my shop, very young version of my skill and my craft. So I would wake up in the morning and I would, go to get outside. I'd make my coffee, make my breakfast, whatever. It'd be like probably 9:30, 10 o'clock, even though I was trying to start the day at 9, and okay. I'm telling a story. Off. Come on, go lay down. Off. Worked my butt off until I didn't know what to do anymore, right? I would get to the shop. I would make the things that I was telling myself that I was going to make, not having a way to sell it. I was just making things to have things. And this is what I did. This is what I started. This is not necessarily what I would suggest doing at this point. Knowing what I know now, I wouldn't suggest just building things to sell. But back then, I started just making things. I started with the window frames, if you watched the last couple of videos. But I was also taking light bulbs and taking the filament out and, turning these little light bulbs, actual glass light bulbs, into planters. Leave it. Turning these glass light bulbs into planters. And this was how I started, right? I was going door to door to try and sell the chalkboard that I made out of the old window frame, going door to door to try and sell the mirror frame or the pictures that I have, going door to door, seeing if these places like a coffee shop would even take my work and display it in their coffee shop as art for them and a place for me to possibly sell my work. And the reason why I'm telling you all this stuff is because as I was going door to door to try and sell the thing that I made, I was able to eventually start the conversation of what I could custom make for them. This is very crucial and important because I was just acting out of not knowing. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just doing things. And I know a couple of the last videos I talked about just starting to make. But, I had made at this point. I had things to sell at this point. And I was going door to door to say, hey, do you want this piece or do you want that piece? And oftentimes, very key point, not every time, but oftentimes the conversation went into a place where they would ask me, what else can you do? When they would ask me what else I could do, the conversation changed from, do you want to buy my thing, to, can you build me this custom thing that fits my needs, that fits my wants, that fits my budget? And then I started really getting deeper and deeper into the custom world on accident. I say on accident because it wasn't my goal to go to Susan's coffee shop and say, Susan, do you want to buy my awesome picture frame? And then her to say, actually, I'm looking at building a bench for this corner. Is that something that you can do? And then me being the yes man back in the day, like I've talked about in my Instagram posts, becoming the yes man, I would just say yes. Can you build a bench? Yes. Have you built one before? No. right? The irony of that. Can you build it? Yes. Have you built one? No, I haven't, but I will do my absolute best and not stop until it is perfect for you, right? That's all that we can really offer in this world, is to do our best. And by making sure that a potential client knows that you are willing to do your best and that you're going to keep them informed and you're going to kind of bring them along the journey with you, will get you work. If you do not have the work already done in the past, right? If you do not have a portfolio to show, if you just have the sincere heart to make sure that you are portraying that you're going to do everything you possibly can to make the most awesome bench possible, you will probably sell the bench. You will probably sell the bench because that person trusts you. We talk about all the time, people that buy from you are people that know, like, and trust you. If you don't have those three things, you're just a stranger asking for money. You don't want to be that guy. You have more to give than just asking like that. So I'm telling you this whole story because nothing happens in your business if you're trying to go down the custom road. Nothing happens in your business unless you have something sold. Your business starts and stops with you selling something. A lot of the time we get caught up trying to make something where, it's going to be the best table ever and you're going to build this awesome piece of furniture and it's going to sit in your shop and I'm going to start a business making this type of table. But it doesn't matter because you do not have a business until that table has been sold. And I want to really lean in on this because when I was going door to door, going coffee shop to coffee shop, restaurant to restaurant, bar to bar, furniture store to furniture store to see if I could sell the thing I have already put time and energy into to sell them, and them coming back to me saying, can you build this instead? Can you custom build my menu boards? Can you custom build the benches, the tables? Can you custom build this thing for my house? Right? That all started because I went in there because I took action beforehand to actually make something of value to sell them. And I don't want to sound like a broken record because I constantly talk about just working with what you got and just taking action, right? We want to act our way into feeling. We don't want to wait until we feel good enough to start taking action. If we start taking action, we will eventually feel valued enough. We will eventually feel successful enough. We will eventually build the confidence that we need to be constantly able to sell the custom work because you have reps now. You have the conversation down a little bit. You have your introduction down a little bit. You have a way to introduce yourself as the furniture maker. This is a game changer. When you are going somewhere and saying, hey, my name is Michael DiFazio. I build custom furniture and art pieces. Here's a window frame. This is a very old version of Michael DiFazio, by the way. But here's a window frame. Do you want this? Because I introduced myself as the custom furniture builder, in the back of their mind now, they know that I can help them even if they don't want the window that I am offering them. We have to introduce ourselves as, and we will eventually become the person we talk about and the person that we are constantly acting about, right? Nothing starts until you have sold something, okay? If you are just making stuff, you are working in a hobby. You are just doing. You don't have a business yet. The second you have a business is when you actually have something to sell and you have actually sold it. So if you are looking at getting into business, building custom furniture, focus on trying to find the people to sell to. In this example that I'm talking to you guys about right now, that was me trying to sell something I already had made. And then selling, there's that word, selling something different to get the custom bench, to get the custom menu boards, to get the custom whatever it was. And that's when the business started because I had sold something at that point. I got into the custom world because I was offering something that wasn't custom. That almost sounds counterintuitive, but I had to offer something to get their attention, to get me in front of them, to just not go in there like, hey, I'm a dude. How can you pay me for something? You don't want to do that. You want to offer them something and in return, hopefully build a relationship. Relationships through and through will provide you for the rest of your life. Everything in business revolves around relationships. It doesn't really revolve around the ads that you have, the marketing that you have. It's the relationships. It's not that they don't have a space. Ads and marketing has a space, and they're also very important. But when it comes to actually closing sales and making money and building a name for yourself or a brand and being known as, I talk about that a lot, being known as the woodworker, the custom woodworker in your community, the local hero that can actually take care of your community, you have to work on relationships. So talk to people, introduce yourself, go and meet people. Everybody that's following you on your Instagram, introduce yourself to them, send them a video. Thanks for following me. Find a way to make an impact, become the light. If your city's in a dark space and there's things that are going wrong and things are going wrong in your country and you see people are hurting and people that are hurting in your city, in your home, in your communities, in your neighborhoods, whatever, you can become the light. And by becoming the light, you can become known as somebody that cares so much. And if you are the person that cares and you are offering something, people are going to want to support you. People want to support local. Give them a reason and give them a way to actually support the local person. You are the local person. It is very important that you serve your local community because your local community will support you the most out of everything else that you're doing. This doesn't matter if you are building jewelry, if you are doing pottery, if you're building custom furniture, if you're the best sandwich shop in town. The local community will serve you before the other community serves you. Before the local community will love you, kind of thing. Anyways, guys, if you guys are looking for help, step-by-step processes or ways to build a business, ways to build relationships, message me. I can help you with these things. I can work you through all the frameworks. I can work with you on plans and systems and scripts and templates and all the things that I've used in my business to become the local hero in my community, building custom furniture out of my Nona's garage. It was my Nona's garage. In my Nona's house, my Nona's garage, I cleaned that whole thing out. And you know what? My business started there. There was also no heat in that garage. And I had to buy the heaters. I had to set up the wiring. I had to do all the work. But look, if you guys need help, reach out to me. Whatever I can do to help you guys get ahead and, plant your feet, get you guys ahead, get you guys started, let me know. Please follow. Please subscribe. Please tell your friends about me, guys. If this is resonating with somebody with you right now and you think that somebody that you know needs to hear it, please send it to them. It means the world to me, and I hope that I can help you and I hope that I can help your friends out. So guys, wait for the next episode. I'll be continuing my story with the lessons attached to the story. God bless.